other day, I was with my family. We're driving through Atlanta, and I made a very common mistake. I went to shift lanes, moving to my left, not realizing until the last minute that there was a car on my blind spot. So, as you could imagine, I swerved back to the right to get into the lane and almost overcorrected and nearly got into a wreck. Now, praise God, I didn't. The car did exactly what it was supposed to do and responded well. But there was a moment I'm kind of, you know what this is like as I continue driving. I'm replaying this moment in my mind, realizing how close I was to overcorrecting and creating a major accident on a major highway in traffic. It could have been really, really bad. If we're driving a vehicle, we understand the importance of keeping it between the lines, right? We learned that when we start behind the wheel at 15 or so. Keep it between the lines. Well, life is a lot that way in our spiritual journey, but the lines are not a yellow line and a white line, and we're not driving on asphalt or concrete. Paul challenges us to keep it between the lines, and he says that is done so by loving others and following along in the rhythm of the Spirit. And he describes the lines being on one side, legalism, and the other side, license. And in fact, he uses some words in Galatians 5:13 through 18 to help us understand this, of freedom, warning against legalism, which the Galatians were struggling to avoid. But in the warning to avoid legalism, the concern is they would overcorrect and move to a place of license to say, okay, well then if I'm free and forgiven, I can do whatever I want, which in fact abuses the grace of God, and Paul warns us of that as well. The reminder I think we all need to hear today is the danger of crossing the lines either way. Maybe in our desire to honor God, we look at this as a set of rules that we check the boxes, and that leads us to legalism. Or maybe in a desire to stiff-arm legalism, we swing to a place of freedom and we just do whatever feels good and we follow our own inhibitions, and we lead to a place of license that abuses the grace of God, when in fact he challenges us to walk in obedience, to walk in accordance to his will. And then specifically in 13 through 18 of Galatians 5, which we looked in our sermon last week, he challenges two ways that we can do this. One, simply by being others-focused rather than self-focused. Flesh is going to lead us to think of ourselves, so he says, hey, think of others, serve others. Simply put, I would challenge you today, how can you serve others well? How can you love others well today, thinking of others and putting them first? More importantly, he challenges in verse 18 to really listen to what the Spirit says, what he's guiding you. Many times in our flesh, we think what makes sense to us and we act without slowing down, praying, Lord, guide me, give me discernment, give me wisdom here. I'll challenge you to begin applying those two simple things to your life today, and maybe that would lead you toward a path to avoid those extremes and keep it between the lines. Maybe you want to learn more. You can check out our sermon from last week. Check out our website. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. And until next time, God bless.